Hey guys, Augiesaint here and welcome to the channel. Today I want to share with you guys my Outriders build for the Pyromancer. I like to call it Pop Goes the Bandit. As you can see in the background, everything is just popping all over the screen all the time, and that is with the new Heatseeker set and the thermal bomb usage, and then you just overheat and it just clears the map. It's like Ash Blast overheat Pyro, but throw in a thermal bomb there that just does crazy damage. Now, it's got really good room clear and it's got large AoE and it's really fast clears. The only downside is the bossing is a little bit slower. It still does really good in the bossing. As you can see right there, the Arbiter stands no chance. But yeah, it is a little bit slower on the bosses. And there is also a little downside where if the enemies aren't completely spawned in the map and you have hit your Ash Blast and everything freezes around the map, you can't actually apply your thermal bomb to them. So it's kind of annoying sometimes, and the range on thermal bomb is not that far. So that's little things you just got to play around with and get used to. But anyway, the build is amazing. I would highly suggest doing this, and you can just slap it together with a 5-piece Heatseeker. So let's hop straight into the build now, shall we? Alright, so let's hop straight into the armor pieces. We are using the Heatseeker set, and we do have all 5 pieces on. If you do get some lucky purples, I would suggest swapping out the pants, and we'll speak about that in a moment. Let's just start at the helmet. So we do have anomaly skill each and healing received on this. The best stats you want to be looking for is anomaly cooldown and status. Obviously you can't change those on legendaries, but for your purple you want to get anomaly cooldown and status power. And the mods we have on here is Death Sentence. It just increases your damage, your anomaly damage to enemies by 30% for 5 seconds every time you hit them with an Ash Blast, and you will be using Ash Blast in this build quite a lot, so you use that to mark everything and they all take more damage. And then Phoenix Force, you get more anomaly power per status consumed by the skill for 8 seconds, taking up 10 times. So that's 10 times 43, that's 430,000 anomaly power. Just for that, that's a lot of anomaly power from that. And obviously you will be consuming statuses really fast because you have Ash and Burn on all the enemies all the time. And then Twice as Hot. Now this thing is surprised me a lot. Twice as Hot does so much damage. It's actually my second highest in the damage screen. I'll pull it up on the screen for you guys right now and just show you there. Twice as Hot does a crazy amount of your damage. So if you can get Twice as Hot on there, great. If you can't, anything like Captain Hunter or any other good stuff was good on the APOC mod. And then moving on to the chest, we have Fire Trap. This is good because it marks the targets and then increases burn, and they take an explosion in a 4-meter radius. Just like a lot of the popping pretty much happens from the fire trap, because we'll like kill an enemy and then proc your thermal bomb to explode, and then it'll spread to another one because of the Heatseeker set, and just adds off this chain reaction, just going crazy like that. Really amazing. And then we do have the Ash Blast increase range. Pretty mandatory because you do need the range to be increased. It's pretty short without this mod, so it's really mandatory to get that one. And then no resistance against the fortified. This we will be using alongside another mod we'll speak about in a minute that increases your anomaly power. So over there, you increase your resistance piercing by 100% of your armor piercing value. And then if we move on to the next, I think where is it on my boots? You see Unstoppable Force increases your anomaly power by 50% of your resistance piercing. And since we are getting more resistance piercing with our armor value there, they kind of double dip, and it's just amazing. You want to use this combo on all anomaly classes right now. And then moving on to the pants, we do have Branded on here. That's also another mandatory mod to increase your damage from enemies with thermal bomb on them. And then Fire Frenzy, this is the one that I would kind of drop. I don't really like it that much. It's good for room clear and air clear, but once you get to bosses, you have to throw out both of your thermal bombs before you can do your overheat. So you benefit from your Pax Tree node that makes you deal more damage when your skills are on cooldown. So how you kind of want to do it, you want to Ash Blast, and you want to apply your thermal bombs, and then once those are all on cooldown, your next skill will deal 60% more. So then you double tap your overheat, and that will just deal more damage. And then if you do have another thermal bomb due to Fire Frenzy, it just makes the whole combo a little bit slower. But nonetheless, it's still a good mod. If you do get it, it's not the end of the world, so just keep that on there. And then Wildfire, the thermal bomb, that one we can obviously change out. I would change that out to maybe if you can get Captain Hunter on your chest, and then no resistance against the fortified on your pants. But the Wildfire mod over there is kind of dead mod. You can put in there whatever you got. That's just the best ones that I've ended up getting without it being a completely dead mod, because in this Wildfire it still does reflect burn on enemies with the explosion of thermal bombs. So it's not a total loss, but definitely could put something better in there once you get a good roll. Then moving on to the gloves, we do have Turn Up the Heat on there that comes on them. That is kind of mandatory as well, because overheat then lets you trigger it twice. Ashen Boost is just plain flat damage, 12%. You can even put bullet killing on there, but the boots do come with that already. But yeah, bullet killing, ashen boost, anything that will boost your damage on fire and ash targets, since they're always ashed and fire at the same time. And then arms and anomaly. Critical shots increase your anomaly power by 400,000 for 6 seconds. So you want to be hitting your crit shots. This only really matters once you get to like elites and bosses and that. The trash, pretty much, they'll all just die instantly from all of your AoE anyway. But yeah, once you get to bosses and stuff, you want to start hitting your headshots. And we'll speak about that with the weapon as well. We have some weapon mods there to boost that as well. And then moving on to the boots, we have Master Consumer. Kind of mandatory as well. You want to always have that on. Bullet kindling is just extra damage again. So if you do get some purple boots that actually roll with bullet kindling, then you can just mod on Master Consumer and Unstoppable Force. Hopefully that comes on your APOC. This is the one that I said works with the mod we have on the pants to increase your anomaly power, because it increases your anomaly power by 50% on resistance piercing. And your armor pierce will give you resistance pierce. Your resistance pierce will give you anomaly. So it's just like a big circle. So stack those as well. And speak about on the weapons as well. You want to get armor pierce on your weapons. That's pretty much all there is to that. So yeah, I do have 5 pieces. If you want to swap anything, I would suggest swapping the boots for purples with anomaly status and then cooldown reduction. So you do a lot more damage if you do actually replace these boots. These boots have really bad rolls on them. Max health, skill leech, and cooldown. But it's just I haven't found any purples yet to replace them. And the hands are really nice with all the boosts they have on them. And then the pants you can actually swap out for purples as well, just to get rid of that fire frenzy. But these 3 over here really are interchangeable with good purples if you get some good purples with any of these mods on that I show here. Anyway, moving on to the weapons. We do have not optimal weapons, but what you want to look for on your weapons, you can kind of really use anything. With this build, you don't really switch to your weapons very much because everything is just popping off and going crazy and doing so much damage all the time. Your weapons are just there as like stat sticks and to help you out. But you do want to look for armor pierce on a weapon and status power. So like the Death Lance of yours, the Charred Lance is really good because it has armor pierce and status power. Both of those will help with your damage. And then this is pretty much I just shoot this off every now and then to proc the Firestorm. And that Firestorm does a lot of damage and it deflects burn to enemies. So you want to like pop that off whenever you see there's no Firestorm traveling around the map. Just switch this gun real quick and chuck out another Firestorm. And then on the bottom part there, ultimate burning bullets. If you could get anything like Mage's Rage, or even if you get some more damage mods like Firestorm or Claymore Turrets or any of that stuff, you can use it as like your AoE weapon. And then for your bossing weapon, you want to have something with Mage's Rage and Fortress on it, just so you can hit the headshots and then increase. You see there with Mage's Rage, critical shots guarantee you 10% anomaly power bonus for 15 seconds, taking up to 4 times. So that's 40% for 15 seconds. That's huge. All you have to do is hit 4 crits. And that, if I could roll Fortress on the bottom shot, this weapon would be perfect for bossing because it inflicts weakness, Mage's Rage, and then I'd have the Fortress as well. And the good thing about that is the buff actually stays there, so you can just chuck it up with your Mage's Rage, you know, hit the 4 crit shots, and then it's there for 15 seconds. You can swap back to your Charred Lance, chuck up your Firestorm, and then just leave that there for a while. Then you switch back to your Reaper and just keep building up your anomaly power. And make sure that you hit your overheats when your Mage's Rage is procced. So that's pretty much that for all the mods. And then let's move over to skills. Obviously, we're using Thermal Bomb, Overheat, and Ash Blast. And the way you want to do it is you hit Ash Blast first, and then you apply your Thermal Bombs, and then you'll double tap your Overheat, because we'll speak about that in the class tree. The class tree, we're just gone pretty much down the bottom. Tempest with a little bit up top here for the increased anomaly power with Hot Situation. So we pick up Anomaly, skills damage against marked enemies. There's Anomaly, some more damage. Anomaly, and we move up here to increase your damage against enemies below 30% health. Just have max health on, we need to pick up on the way up. And that's when burn ends that inflicts ash on enemies. It's nice to have some extra way of applying ash. Over there we got weapon damage. That one's kind of useless, but we just had to use it to get up to Hot Situation. Because every time you use Ash Blast, your anomaly power is going to go up by 45% for 10 seconds. So that's pretty huge. Over there we have Resistance Piercing, again, giving you more anomaly. And then enemies afflicted with ash will receive 10% more damage. No brainer down there. We come back down. That's just anomaly, resistance. It's kind of better than skill leech, so you just go down there. And then over to the right, we've got some more anomaly. Resistance piercing, yet again, giving you more anomaly. And then over there we have damage against elites. Free Captain Hunter, a little bit weaker, but you know, it's free. And over there we have skill damage against marked enemies. And then our capstone is explosive skill damage by 30%. So our overheats and our thermal bombs are both explosive skills. So they will be doing a lot more damage. And moving on to our Pax Tree. This is kind of where it gets crazy over here. Where is it? The cooldown reduces all skill cooldowns by 4 seconds when all skills are on cooldown. 3-second cooldown. So this pretty much makes it so you can spam stuff all the time. And over here's another big one. Backdraft. Your anomaly power is increased by 30% for every skill on cooldown. So that's why you want to go Ash Blast, double Thermal Bomb. So those are both on cooldown. That's giving you 60% on your overheat then. So when you spam your overheat twice, it's a double overheat with 60% increase in anomaly power on them. Really, really big. And also over there is this explosive skill damage increased by 100% of your resistance piercing. And obviously we are stacking resistance pierce as well. Increase resistance piercing by 15% when above 80% health and by 30% when below. So that's just more and more resistance pierce. And when you come up top, you have to deal 15% more damage to enemies above 80% health and 30% damage below. So better than this VR, because that just activating explosive skill increases the damage of the next explosive skill by 25%. So that is viable if you really wanted to go it. But I would suggest that one always there. You never have to wait for it or proc or anything. That one you do have to have have to set it up. So that's why you're on for our Pax Tree. And then our Ascension Tree, we go into Anomaly first. So what you want to do first is get Anomaly damage. Then you go over to Anomaly power and then Anomaly status. And then obviously you want to get Resistance piercing. I would skip out on the skill leech and get Resistance piercing first and then Armor pierce. Because you know those two give you Anomaly. And then come down to Elite damage, and then after that it's really up to you if you want to put it. I went into cooldown and then reduce damage from elites, and now I'm just kind of going into endurance stuff because I don't have any more that I can get for damage. And that's pretty much all there is to this build, guys. And as you can see, it's really OP, does a lot of damage, really easy map clears, and just a fun build to play all around. I can still optimize mine quite a bit to do a little bit more damage against elites. I am missing Captain Hunter, and I do have that fire with that one dead mod on there, so I want to replace that and obviously get some nice purples eventually. But if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like and a subscribe to the channel. It helps me out so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Augiesaint out.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the